The sky over Earth was clear that day. People went about their daily lives unaware that something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would change their world forever. Suddenly, deep in the blue sky, a shadow appeared. At first it was just a small dot, but it quickly grew larger and larger. The dot turned into a massive shape, unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. It was a spaceship, gigantic and smooth, floating silently above the clouds. The world stopped and stared in wonder and fear. News channels around the globe rushed to cover the event. Governments declared emergency meetings. Scientists scrambled to understand the strange ship, and ordinary people looked up at the sky holding their breath. The ship did not move closer. Instead, it hovered quietly in orbit. No weapons were fired. No signals were sent. For days, the world waited, filled with questions. Who were these visitors? Were they friends or enemies? Then a message came through. It was clear and calm, spoken in many languages at once. The voice was not human. It was calm but firm. I am Krell, ambassador of the Zinthar. We come in peace. The word surprised everyone. The Zinthar were a species known across the stars as fierce warriors and conquerors. Many feared they had come to attack Earth, but Krell's message was different. I come with a warning, Krell said. A threat is coming to this part of the galaxy. A danger that will destroy everything in its path. You must listen. The leaders of Earth gathered in a great hall beneath the spaceship. They were nervous but curious. Krell's large figure appeared on a huge screen. He was tall, with shining skin that looked like metal and eyes that glowed softly like stars. Krell spoke carefully. The Zinthar have fought many wars. We have conquered worlds, yes, but we have also learned to survive. And now a new enemy has appeared, an enemy worse than any we have faced. The room was silent. The Kithrax, Krell said, a species that consumes entire star systems. Their hunger is endless. They do not negotiate. They do not show mercy. People looked at each other, shocked. Could such a thing be real? Krell continued. We have lost many of our worlds to the Kithrax. We barely escaped with our lives. But your planet, Earth, has something unique, something that might help stop the Kithrax. A scientist in the crowd raised her hand. What do you mean, unique? Krell nodded. Your species has creativity, determination, and a spirit unlike any other. You have survived great challenges with limited technology. You adapt quickly. This is why we seek your help. Not all the leaders were convinced. Some whispered, how can we trust a conqueror? Others wondered, is this a trick? But the Zinthar ambassador showed proof. Holograms appeared around the room, showing the destruction caused by the Kithrax. Planets burned, stars darkened, cities destroyed. The images were real and terrifying. A diplomat from Earth asked, why come to us now? Why not fight alone? Krell answered, because the Kithrax are too strong. Alone we cannot stop them. Together, we have a chance. The meeting ended with many questions but no clear answers. Back on Earth, people discussed the news. Some were afraid of the aliens. Others hoped for peace. Children looked up at the stars and dreamed of heroes. In quiet places, scientists worked day and night to understand the technology of the Zinthar ship. Engineers studied the strange materials. Soldiers prepared for what might come. Meanwhile, Krell watched from the ship's bridge, hopeful but cautious. He knew the future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Earth was no longer alone, and the decision to trust or fight the Zinthar would change everything. The sky over Earth was clear that day. People went about their daily lives unaware that something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would change their world forever. Suddenly, deep in the blue sky, a shadow appeared. At first it was just a small dot, but it quickly grew larger and larger. The dot turned into a massive shape, unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. It was a spaceship, gigantic and smooth, floating silently above the clouds. The world stopped and stared in wonder and fear. News channels around the globe rushed to cover the event. Governments declared emergency meetings. Scientists scrambled to understand the strange ship, and ordinary people looked up at the sky holding their breath. The ship did not move closer. Instead, it hovered quietly in orbit. No weapons were fired. No signals were sent. For days, the world waited, filled with questions. Who were these visitors? Were they friends or enemies? Then a message came through. It was clear and calm, spoken in many languages at once. The voice was not human. It was calm but firm. I am Krell, ambassador of the Zinthar. We come in peace. The words surprised everyone. The Zinthar were a species known across the stars as fierce warriors and conquerors. Many feared they had come to attack Earth, but Krell's message was different. "I come with a warning," Krell said. "A threat is coming to this part of the galaxy. A danger that will destroy everything in its path. You must listen." The leaders of Earth gathered in a great hall beneath the spaceship. They were nervous but curious. Krell's large figure appeared on a huge screen. He was tall, with shining skin that looked like metal and eyes that glowed softly like stars. Krell spoke carefully. "The Zinthar have fought many wars. We have conquered worlds, yes. But we have also learned to survive. And now a new enemy has appeared, an enemy worse than any we have faced." The room was silent. "The Kithrax," Krell said. "A species that consumes entire star systems. Their hunger is endless. They do not negotiate. They do not show mercy." People looked at each other, shocked. Could such a thing be real? Krell continued. "We have lost many of our worlds to the Kithrax. We barely escaped with our lives. But your planet, Earth, has something unique, something that might help stop the Kithrax." A scientist in the crowd raised her hand. "What do you mean, unique?" Krell nodded. "Your species has creativity, determination, and a spirit unlike any other. You have survived great challenges with limited technology. You adapt quickly. This is why we seek your help." Not all the leaders were convinced. Some whispered, "How can we trust a conqueror?" Others wondered, "Is this a trick?" But the Zinthar ambassador showed proof. Holograms appeared around the room, showing the destruction caused by the Kithrax. Planets burned, stars darkened, cities destroyed. The images were real and terrifying. A diplomat from Earth asked, "Why come to us now?" "Why not fight alone?" Krell answered, "Because the Kithrax are too strong. Alone we cannot stop them. Together we have a chance." The meeting ended with many questions but no clear answers. The days after the Zinthar ship arrived in Earth's orbit were filled with tension and questions. Governments and scientists worked together, trying to understand the truth behind Krell's warning. Was the threat real? Could Earth trust the Zinthar? And most importantly, what could humanity do? Deep inside the Zinthar ship, Krell prepared to share everything he knew. He was no longer just an ambassador. He was a messenger carrying the future of many worlds. The leaders of Earth gathered once again, this time in a secure meeting room under the surface of the planet. The walls were lined with screens and devices that hummed softly. On the largest screen, Krell's figure appeared, shining like silver. "My friends," Krell began, "I know this is hard to believe, but the threat I speak of is very real. The Kithrax do not seek peace. They do not ask for territory. They consume all in their path: planets, stars, life itself." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. "Imagine a shadow so large it covers entire solar systems. The Kithrax move through space, destroying everything. They are not just enemies. They are a force of destruction." The Earth leaders exchanged worried glances. Some rubbed their faces in exhaustion. It was clear this was no ordinary problem. Krell continued, "For centuries the Zinthar have fought the Kithrax. We have lost many worlds and many lives. We have built great weapons and trained the strongest armies. But even with all this power, the Kithrax keep advancing." A scientist named Dr. Lena Moreno, who had become the human point of contact with the Zinthar, asked, "How do they do it? How do the Kithrax move so fast? How do they destroy so much?" Krell's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, as if remembering terrible moments. "The Kithrax are not like any enemy you have faced. Their ships are living machines. They consume energy and matter to grow stronger. They spread like a dark cloud, and their power increases with every world they destroy." Lena frowned. "Is there no way to stop them?" "No weakness?" Krell shook his head slowly. "The Kithrax seem invincible, but there is one thing they fear: unity. When different species work together, using their strengths, they become stronger than the Kithrax." He turned to the Earth leaders. "This is why we have come to you. Earth is unique. Your creativity and courage give you an advantage." The room was silent for a moment. Then a diplomat named James Lee spoke up. "Ambassador Krell, we hear your words. But how can we be sure? Why should Earth risk helping when we do not know if the Zinthar are truly on our side?" Krell's expression was steady. "Because if we do nothing, the Kithrax will come for Earth too. No one is safe alone." Another leader, a woman named President Aria Wilson, nodded slowly. "We must prepare then. But first we need proof," Krell agreed. "We will share more information. You will see the path ahead." Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. People watched live broadcasts of Krell's messages and debated in homes, schools, and offices. Many were afraid. The idea of an unstoppable alien force was terrifying, but others felt hope. Maybe humans were not alone in the universe. Maybe there was a chance to fight back. In research labs around the world, scientists studied the data from the Zinthar ship. Strange symbols and star maps were decoded. Holograms showed parts of the galaxy where the Kithrax had attacked. Lena and her team worked day and night. She spoke with Krell through a translator device. They shared ideas and plans. One day, Krell sent them something new, a set of recorded messages from other alien species. These messages were like cries for help, sent from worlds destroyed or under attack. The holograms showed ruined cities, frightened people, and burning skies. Lena felt a chill as she watched. "This is proof," she told the others. "The Kithrax are real." Meanwhile, in the halls of power, Earth's leaders discussed what to do next. "We cannot wait," President Wilson said firmly. "If the Kithrax are coming, we must prepare now." Military leaders agreed, but many worried. Earth's technology was not as advanced as the Zinthars. Could humans really fight such a powerful enemy? James Lee raised a good point. "We need to learn from the Zinthar. Their experience in battle could save us." Krell offered to open Earth scientists and engineers to Zinthar technology. "Together we can build defenses. Together we can survive." At the same time, not everyone trusted the Zinthar. Some groups called for caution, even resistance. "There is no reason to trust conquerors," said a voice on a popular news show. "They say they want to help, but what if this is a trick? What if they plan to take our planet?" Others disagreed. "We must unite," said a teacher in a school assembly. "This is bigger than us. We need to believe in ourselves and in the power of working together." On the Zinthar ship, Krell often thought about Earth's people. Their spirit was different. They had survived wars, disasters, and challenges with courage and hope. They might be the key, he told his advisors. Their creativity and strength will surprise everyone. The Zinthar Council was divided. Some wanted to attack Earth, believing humans were weak. Others agreed with Krell, trusting that Earth could help save the galaxy. Krell knew time was short. The Kithrax were moving closer. One evening, Lena received a message from Krell. "There is more you must know," the message said. "The Kithrax are not just a force of destruction. They are a mystery. We have discovered that they respond to certain signals, some weak, some strong. We believe they have a connection to an ancient energy source in the galaxy." Lena gathered her team. "This could be a clue," she said. "If we understand this energy, maybe we can find a way to stop the Kithrax." The team began to plan a mission to find this energy source. It would be dangerous and difficult, but it was their best chance. As Earth prepared, Krell sent one final warning. "The Kithrax will come soon. When they do, be ready, not just to fight, but to stand together. Earth's strength will be tested, but I believe in you." The world listened. People around the globe looked to the stars, hoping for a future where humanity and its new allies could survive. The story was just beginning. Children looked up at the stars and dreamed of heroes. In quiet places, scientists worked day and night to understand the technology of the Zinthar ship. Engineers studied the strange materials. Soldiers prepared for what might come. Meanwhile, Krell watched from the ship's bridge, hopeful but cautious. He knew the future was uncertain. But one thing was clear. Earth was no longer alone, and the decision to trust or fight the Zinthar would change everything. The weight of the alien warning hung heavily over Earth. Governments worked nonstop. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders came together like never before. The challenge was huge. Prepare for a threat no one had ever faced. In a specially built research center deep beneath the Earth's surface, Dr. Lena Moreno stood in front of a group of experts. They were from many countries and fields, united by a single goal: to understand and stop the Kithrax. Around them were advanced devices, some from Earth's technology and others from the Zinthar. The giant holographic map showed star systems under threat and possible paths the Kithrax might take. Lena spoke with determination. "We must use everything we have and everything we can learn from the Zinthar. Their knowledge is valuable, but we cannot rely on it alone. Earth's strength is our creativity and our ability to adapt." A young engineer named Raj smiled. "We've already started combining our tech with Zinthar designs. Some of their weapons and shields are incredible. A soldier named Captain Mia Torres nodded. But we need to train too. Fighting the Kithrax will be very different from any war we've known. Meanwhile, Krell watched the Earth team with hope. He was impressed by how quickly they were learning. Unlike many other species he had met, humans were flexible and creative, not afraid to try new ideas. Humanity surprises me every day, he said to his advisors. They have a spirit unlike any other. The advisors nodded, but reminded him of the dangers ahead. The Kithrax will not wait, one said. They grow stronger with every world they consume. Back on Earth, people also worked on another important task, building trust between species. The Zinthar had opened parts of their ship for human scientists and diplomats to visit. Slowly, friendships formed. Lena spent hours with Krell and his team, learning about their culture and technology. In turn, humans shared stories of Earth's history and struggles. Despite differences in appearance and language, a shared goal united them. At the same time, Earth's diplomats reached out to other alien species. Some had been quiet watchers of the galaxy, while others had suffered at the hands of the Kithrax. Slowly, a new alliance began to form. One day, Lena received surprising news. We found something important, said Raj. The energy source Krell mentioned, we have located it. The news spread quickly. The energy source was near a distant star system, deep in uncharted space. It was mysterious and powerful, possibly the key to stopping the Kithrax. The problem, the location was far away, and no one knew what dangers lay between Earth and the energy. A mission was planned. A small team would travel to this distant place to study the energy and find a way to use it against the Kithrax. Captain Torres was chosen to lead the mission. It will be dangerous, she said to her team. But this is our chance to protect Earth and the galaxy. As preparations began, Krell spoke with Earth's leaders again. This mission will not be easy, he said. The Kithrax will try to stop you. But with courage and teamwork, you can succeed. President Wilson nodded. We trust our people. We trust humanity's spirit. The team launched from Earth in a new ship, a blend of human and Zinthar technology. It was fast and strong, equipped with weapons and shields designed to defend against the Kithrax. The journey was long and filled with uncertainty. The crew faced unknown dangers, strange space storms, confusing signals, and moments when it seemed the Kithrax were close behind. Captain Torres kept the crew focused. We are not just fighting for Earth, she said. We fight for every life in the galaxy. Back on Earth, scientists monitored the mission closely. Lena and Krell worked together, sharing data and ideas. Slowly, new weapons and defenses were developed, based on what the mission team discovered and what the Zinthar had taught. Human engineers showed their skill by improving the Zinthar technology, making it faster, stronger, and more flexible. The combined knowledge of two very different species created hope. At the same time, the Kithrax were not idle. Far from Earth, their living ships moved like dark clouds. Their presence was terrifying, but the humans and their allies learned more about their behavior. The Kithrax seemed to avoid strong defenses and focused on easy targets. This gave Earth's forces a chance to prepare and strengthen their defenses. Meanwhile, on Earth, ordinary people felt the pressure but also the hope. Schools taught children about the universe and the importance of unity. Artists created works celebrating courage and peace. Communities came together, supporting each other in this difficult time. It's like we are all part of one big family, said a young boy watching the stars with his mother. After many weeks, the mission team reached the energy source. It was more incredible than anyone had imagined, a glowing crystal field floating in space, full of power and mystery. Captain Torres and her crew studied the energy carefully. They discovered it could weaken the Kithrax, disrupting their living ships and slowing their advance. This is the breakthrough we needed, Lena said when the data arrived on Earth. But the mission was not over. The team had to find a way to bring this power back safely, and fast. As the mission began its return journey, the Kithrax attacked nearby star systems, growing stronger and more aggressive. Earth's defenses were tested like never before, but with new weapons and strategies, the Alliance fought back. Battles were difficult but showed that working together made a difference. The Zinthar and humans learned from each other, sharing tactics and strength. Captain Torres sent messages of hope. We will not give up. Earth will stand strong. The story of Earth's response was not just about technology and war. It was about people, about the scientists working late into the night, the pilots training in simulators, the leaders making hard decisions, and the families supporting each other. About the hope that no matter how dark the future seemed, human spirit and unity could light the way. Krell looked at Earth from his ship. Humans are more than survivors, he said softly. They are a force to be respected. He knew the battle was far from over, but the strength of Earth's response had changed the galaxy. For the first time, there was hope that the Kithrax could be stopped. The quiet before the storm stretched across the stars. Earth and its new allies had prepared for what many feared, the arrival of the Kithrax. Months of hard work, study, and unity had brought hope, but also uncertainty. No one knew exactly when or how the Kithrax would strike. Captain Mia Torres stood on the bridge of the Alliance's fastest ship, the Unity. She stared at the vast darkness outside the viewport, her thoughts full of determination and concern. Around her, the crew worked silently, checking instruments and readying weapons. The Unity was not just a ship. It was a symbol of Earth's strength. Built with human and Zinthar technology, it represented the unity of species against a common enemy. Meanwhile, back on Earth, President Aria Wilson addressed the world. Today, we face a great challenge, she said, but we also stand stronger than ever. We have learned that working together, across nations, cultures, and even species, we can face any threat. The Kithrax will soon arrive, but Earth will not be alone. Her words were broadcast everywhere, bringing a mix of fear and hope. The warning. Systems blared across the Alliance's space. Networks. Incoming Kithrax fleet detected, the ship's computer announced in a calm but urgent voice. The dark shapes appeared on the horizon, a massive cloud of living ships, pulsing with strange light. The Kithrax had come. Captain Torres took a deep breath. All hands prepare for battle. The crew moved quickly, activating shields and weapons. The Unity joined other ships from the Zinthar and allied species, forming a defensive line. The battle began quietly, unlike the loud explosions in old war stories. It was a game of movement and strategy. The Kithrax ships were strange and alive, almost like giant creatures floating through space. They used strange energy attacks, but Earth's alliance had prepared countermeasures. Captain Torres guided the Unity through the chaos. Focus on their energy sources, she commanded. We can weaken them if we disrupt their power. The crew worked together, firing beams that pierced the living ships. The Zinthar warriors fought bravely alongside the humans. On Earth, the population watched the battle unfold on their screens. Children held their parents' hands and communities gathered in quiet support. People sent messages of hope to the soldiers fighting far away. Lena Moreno worked with Krell and the engineers, analyzing battle data. We're learning their weaknesses, she said. Every time we fight, we get stronger. Despite their power, the Kithrax were surprised by Earth's alliance. They expected easy victories, but found resistance fierce and clever. Captain Torres ordered a daring move. We will split into two groups. One will draw them away. The other will target their command ship. It was risky, but necessary. The plan worked. The Unity and its team pushed deep into the Kithrax fleet. They faced danger, but also found moments of success. During the fight, the Unity's engineers used the energy source discovered earlier. They released a burst of power that weakened several Kithrax ships, slowing their attack. We have a chance, Captain Torres shouted. But the battle was not over. The Kithrax commander, a massive living ship known as the Shadow Maw, responded. It sent a wave of energy that knocked several Alliance ships offline. The Unity rocked from the blast. Captain Torres gritted her teeth. Steady, everyone. We cannot give up. The crew fought back, using every trick they had learned. Back on Earth, the news was mixed. Some feared the worst. Others believed in the courage of the warriors fighting above. President Wilson spoke again. This is our fight, but it is also a test of our spirit. We will not falter. As the battle raged, a strange thing happened. The Kithrax seemed to hesitate. They pulled back slightly, as if confused or scared. Lena and Krell studied the data quickly. The energy burst affected their control, Krell said. They do not expect this. This gave the Alliance an opening. They pushed harder, targeting the Shadow Maw. Captain Torres led the final attack. The Unity fired a powerful beam, charged with the energy source. The beam struck the Shadow Maw, causing it to shudder and slow. The Kethrax fleet began to retreat. The Alliance ships cheered, but Captain Torres stayed focused. "This is only the beginning," she said. "We have won a battle, not the war." Back on Earth, people celebrated but stayed aware. The Kethrax had been stopped, for now. President Wilson addressed the world once more. "We have shown that unity is strength. We will continue to fight for our home, for our future, and for all life in the galaxy." Krell watched from his ship, proud and hopeful. "Earth has proven its value," he said. "Together we will protect the stars." The first strike had come and gone, but the journey was far from over. The Alliance was ready, and Earth stood stronger than ever. The stars twinkled quietly above Earth as the world held its breath. The first battle against the Kethrax had been won, but the war was far from over. The future of the galaxy depended on what came next, and on the strength of Earth's spirit. Captain Mia Torres and her crew returned from their mission with new hope. They carried knowledge of the mysterious energy source, the key to weakening the Kethrax and protecting countless worlds. When the Unity landed in Earth's orbit, crowds gathered to welcome the heroes. The cheers were not just for the soldiers, but for everyone who had worked together. Scientists, engineers, diplomats, and ordinary people. President Aria Wilson stood on a platform, smiling warmly. "Today we celebrate courage and unity," she said. "We celebrate the strength of humanity and the power of friendship between species. Together we will build a future where peace and hope shine across the stars." But the battle was not yet finished. Krell, the Zinthar ambassador, knew that the Kethrax would return, stronger and more determined. Yet he was inspired by Earth's courage. "Your world is special," Krell told Lena Moreno during a meeting deep inside the Zinthar ship. "You have shown that even the smallest light can shine brightly in the darkness." Lena smiled. "And together, we will keep that light alive." The Alliance worked quickly to create new defenses. Scientists combined Earth's creativity with Zinthar technology to build powerful shields and advanced weapons, fueled by the mysterious energy source. The Kethrax were relentless, but every battle taught the Alliance something new. One day, a message came from deep space, a signal from another species that had survived the Kethrax. They offered to join the Alliance. This was a turning point. More worlds united, sharing knowledge and strength. The galaxy was becoming a community, a place where differences mattered less than the hope for survival. Earth itself changed. The arrival of the Zinthar and the new Alliance inspired innovation and cooperation. Cities grew greener and cleaner, powered by new energy sources. Education focused on unity and exploration. People looked up at the stars with wonder and pride. Children learned about the universe not as a place of fear, but as a place of endless possibility. Captain Torres continued her work, training new pilots and leaders for the ongoing struggle. "We fight not just to protect Earth," she told her students. "We fight for every life that calls the stars home." Her words inspired many, creating a new generation ready to face the challenges ahead. Despite the hardships, there were moments of peace and joy. Lena and Krell often met to share stories and dreams. They talked about Earth's history, the stars, and the future they hoped to build together. In those moments, it felt as if the universe was wide open and full of promise. Then came the final battle. The Kethrax fleet returned, larger and more powerful than before. They aimed to crush the Alliance once and for all. But the Alliance was ready. Ships from many worlds formed a great line across space. Earth's new weapons and shields shone brightly. Pilots flew with courage and skill. The battle was fierce, but unlike the first fight, it was a true test of unity. Captain Torres led the charge. Her ship, the Unity, moved with precision and strength. She coordinated attacks, defended allies, and never lost hope. Lena worked in the command center, sending vital information and guiding the forces. Krell stood beside her, calm and steady. "This is our moment," he said. "Together we will win." The mysterious energy source played a key role. Its power disrupted the Kethrax ships, breaking their control and slowing their advance. One by one, the Kethrax ships fell, unable to fight against the combined strength of the Alliance. Finally, the Shadow Maw, the great command ship, was left alone. Captain Torres aimed carefully. She fired the weapon charged with the energy source's power. The beam struck true. The Shadow Maw shuddered and faded, Its terrible presence ending, the galaxy was safe. For now. Back on Earth, celebrations filled the streets. People from all walks of life joined together in joy and relief. President Wilson spoke to the world once again. We have faced darkness and stood strong. This victory belongs to every one of us. Krell and Lena stood outside the Zinthar ship watching the stars. The future is bright, Lena said. Krell smiled. Yes, because we learned that strength is not in power alone, but in friendship and courage. As the stars continued to shine, Earth and its allies looked forward. They knew challenges would come again, but they were ready, together. The warning from the alien ambassador had changed everything. Instead of fear and war, it brought hope and unity. Earth was no longer just a small blue planet. It was a beacon in the galaxy, a home worth protecting. A new beginning.